Hello, hello. Happy New Year. I wanted to jump on and wish you Happy New Year full of love and joy and wealth and of course health. And since it is the beginning of the year and you may be flirting with adopting maybe a new habit or two in order to improve your health, I wanted to talk to you about something that literally costs nothing and is quite easy to apply, and that is intermittent fasting. Now, I don't know whether you are a fan or not of intermittent fasting, which is essentially just abstaining from eating any food for a certain amount of time during the day. But, it really is a very valuable tool when it comes to improving your health, improving your energy, controlling weight, keeping an eye on weight, but also when it comes to health of your digestion and digestive tract. And so I wanted to give you a couple of pointers of maybe how to do it safely. I wanted to also share with you how I do it, so it really doesn't restrict me in any way. Okay, so first I want to point out that intermittent fasting has been with us for millennia. Okay, since we really started as a species, our ancestors, they were intermittently fasting back then, right? Because food was scarce and it wasn't available all the time around the clock, and our ancestors really had to work really hard in order to get food. And so by default they ended up intermittently fasting, and that's why also our body evolved in such a way that we are not meant to be digesting food around the clock. Okay. Sorry. Around the clock, and it is really important that we take break from eating throughout our day. And so obviously it can be done in different ways. Okay, ideally there are kind of like 3 points which I always recommend to people. First, please listen to your own body. Okay, so if you are somebody who does not need to have breakfast, who is not hungry in the morning, then don't force yourself eat early in the morning. Okay, then by nature, by default, possibly your eating window will be later, and so you may feel like having breakfast at 10, 11, 12, okay, at noon, and then having your last meal at around 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Now, with this, I would like to, if your eating window starts a bit later in the day, I'd like to stress that it's actually important not to eat at least 3 hours before going to bed. And so that cutoff time really should be latest 7, latest 8 p.m. because of course everybody has a different schedule, but it is really important to allow your body to process the food, to send it all the way through the digestive tract before going to bed. So by the time you go to bed, it's all the energy during your rest, during your night's sleep is directed towards repair, towards regeneration, towards detoxification, okay, towards sorting out your thoughts and regaining mental clarity, towards improving your memory, right, and improving your energy overall. Because if there is still food inside your stomach and you eat very close towards bedtime, where does the energy go? The energy goes towards digestion, right? And then you are not allowing your body to have deep restorative sleep the way it needs for the repair, and then you wake up in the morning not as rested as you could. Okay, so that is one point. So please first listen to your body clues and kind of make the eating window in such a way that it fits you, okay, your biological clock and your body clock. Now, second would be, I'm sorry. Second point would be, don't eat close to the bedtime, as I mentioned, okay? Now, I also want to mention that when it comes to finding your eating window, don't be afraid if you love breakfast eat your breakfast in the morning. Okay, so just move the eating window earlier into the day. And so let's say you will start eating at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., but you will finish eating at around 5 or 6 p.m. Okay, this also counts as intermittent fasting. In fact, it may be more suitable because our body clock is very much tuned into the daylight, and the release of hormones and hunger hormones and the way our metabolism works, it is tuned within the time and the light outside. And so in many cases we really even tend to, for example, burn out the calories more in the earlier hours of the day than in the later hours of the day. And so if you naturally gravitate towards having your meals earlier in the day, do it, because that is your biological individuality. Okay? Now, another thing I wanted to point is that if you feel shaky because you are fasting, okay, then slow down. It is a sign that you need to slow down because your blood sugar isn't at balance yet. Okay, so don't force yourself and starve yourself, okay, just because I said so or just because you want to do intermittent fast. No, just eat slightly earlier and extend the window of fasting by maybe 10 minutes, okay, by maybe 15 minutes at most, let's say for a week. See how that goes, and then again extend the fasting window for another 15 minutes or so and see how you are feeling. While doing this, pay attention to what you are eating during the day, because your blood sugar won't be regulated well if your diet is very high in fatty foods, if it is high in processed foods and refined sugars. Okay, so ideally, really, what you eat during the day really matters. And in order to make your blood sugar stable and nicely balanced, then you need to obviously center your meals around vegetables and fruits and whole grains and beans, okay, with a little bit of nuts and seeds. Then you regain your blood sugar balance really well, because the bottom line is that we are able to go without food without feeling shaky and irritable. Okay, again, going back to our ancestors, it is our natural default, and it's something what just our body is designed and programmed to do. But through our food choices throughout our life, we disadvantage our body, okay? We disadvantage it in such a way that we become shaky and we cannot handle not eating for longer than 3 hours. And if it is your case, then your priority should be really to cleaning out the diet and then looking at extending the fasting window. And so just to wrap it up, I want to share with you how I do it. So I always make sure that the last meal of the day is really 7 p.m. for me. So if I go 30 minutes over, it's not a big deal because I go to bed at around 10:30 anyway. So those 3 hours of not eating before bed are there. Then I start my eating depending on really how I feel. So most of the time I would start eating at around 11 when I have my green juice. Then maybe half an hour later I have my chia pudding, and then later, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours later, I have let's say a smoothie, a salad, and then at around those 7 p.m. I have actually cooked meal like stew, chili with quinoa, vegetables and stuff like that. And that's basically how I do it. Now, if I ever feel hungrier before 11, I totally eat a little bit earlier, okay? It's absolutely not a problem, because maybe I go for a run. Maybe I finished eating a little bit earlier the day before, and therefore I just feel hungrier earlier. And that's absolutely fine, because I'm still allowing my body, right, to take the break from food. And that's, please, what I'd love you to take away from all this, me chatting here about intermittent fasting. It's really just important to take break from eating. And so please, when you are thinking about intermittent fasting, don't take it as a punishment. Don't take it as, oh my god, I'm starving, it's just so uncomfortable. No, look at it as a gift. Look at it as a gift to your body when you literally allow your body to rest. Okay, if you are hungry, distract yourself, read a book, make tea, do your work, journal, meditate, do yoga, go for a walk, you know, just basically engage in some activity which will take your mind away from food, so you are allowing your body, your digestion, your body inside out to rest. That's it. And just go with the flow. Don't stress about it and just enjoy the journey, because it's everything, it's a way of discovering yourself, what works for you, what doesn't. And so yeah, and so before I wrap up and before I let you go, I just wanted to mention that if you'd like to learn a little bit more about gut health and maybe why you may be reacting to certain foods and how to support your gut health, I am holding a free masterclass. It's on 18th of January at 7 p.m. Irish time, and I will put link below in the comments so you can check it out. And yeah, it will be on Zoom, and we'll be talking exactly about why our gut can naturally become sensitive throughout the life, and why it's not necessarily your fault, and then of course what to do about it, because that's so important. As always, I'll give you 3 tips on what to do about it, and then also share how to implement these tips, even if you are busy, even if you are on a tight schedule. And so yeah, so if that resonates, join me in for the masterclass. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.